More updates on different games here in a minute that happened during Saturday. Let's talk about real quick a few other cancellations that happened during the week or postponements in case. Cancellation was in fact Cincinnati Bearcats taking on the Temple Owls. That game, of course, was canceled due to COVID-19 concerns. And how about this? Last regular season where the Bearcats finished a undefeated record and not counting the bowl game was with Brian Kelly in 2009. Luke Fickell reminds me a bunch of Brian Kelly just because how they could change a program that was struggling before. Because before that, Cincinnati won like probably 6 games, 7 games a year. They made it to one bowl game, I think, in 2002, where they finished an even 7-7, a 500 record if you count the bowl game. And they just both brought back this program to their winning ways. And now Cincinnati once again can possibly, they're ranked around seventh right now. They're 8-0. They could possibly, either sneak their way into the college football playoff, or in fact, what they could do here, and this would be big also, is make a New Year's Day bowl game. That would probably be really big as well. Maybe a New Year's Eve bowl game. That would be huge for that conference, the American, huge for that team, especially that we're seeing now with some bowl games being canceled. This would really be a big thing for them. So how about some other ones? Kyle Pitts returns for Florida, scored 3 touchdowns. All those were also to Kyle Trask. So it's basically the Kyle and Kyle show right there, as Florida beats Kentucky by a final score of 34-10 right there. A big shootout at Oklahoma State with the Cowboys beating the Texas Tech Raiders by a final score of 50-44 in that game. No Chuba Hubbard. He's been really struggling this year too. Of course, he's been dealing with an ankle injury. That was having to look at. Mike Gundy said he's probably not going to be playing this week. He did not play this week. Instead, they had, how about this man over here, Desmond Jackson. And tell you what, if you're talking about a big running back, this is someone you want to have on your team. 235 yards rushing on the day and 3 touchdowns. A really big day for him. Alan Bowman, quarterback for Texas Tech, put up 3 touchdowns. Really good day for him as well. Really good day all around for both teams. But in the end, it was, in fact, Oklahoma State coming away with the victory. If you took the over on this game, you probably won a bunch of money there, fella. I'm just going to say that right now. Also, if you bet this over here, if you bet Coastal Carolina minus, I think it was probably like, 15 or something like that at the time. You definitely won some big bucks here too. Coastal Carolina won 49-14. They win the Sun Belt East as well. Congrats to them. Coastal Carolina, just an amazing team right now, 9-0. I don't think they've been ever really undefeated in their program, not definitely in the FBS, maybe in the FCS way back in the days, but I don't think even in the FCS they were. So this was a real big accomplishment for Coastal Carolina, winning 49-14 against Texas State. Texas State finishes their disappointing season by a final record, I should say, of 2-10. Meanwhile, Coastal Carolina is 9-0, and tell you what, they're hungry. They will play. They have 2 more games to try and go to 11-0. They have Liberty against Hugh Freeze and the Liberty Flames. They are, of course, 9-1. We could see if Liberty may upset Coastal Carolina. And then they have the Troy Trojans after that. So 2 big games in a row for Coastal Carolina. We're going to have to see what happens with them in those games. And let's also talk about real quick some Michigan, Penn State. Let's talk about that real quick because I just want to go over that little summary here. Penn State came to this game 0-5. They were looking for their first win. And if you originally were a bettor, people would say the bet lines were at take Michigan minus 1.5 or take Michigan minus 2. Well, if you took Penn State plus the points, if you took them plus 2, well, congrats to you. You just got a lot of bucks right there, too. A lot of that green stuff coming your way. Do a little Johnny Manziel with a money team, but that's how it basically is. Penn State won 27-17 in this game. Sean Clifford did have a touchdown in the game, a rushing one. He put up some big points, as along with Kifane Lee as well. He put up 134 yards and some touchdowns there as well. Michigan quarterbacks are still in the struggle, and we're gonna have to see what happens. You had Cade McNamara. He didn't play real well. We're gonna have to see what happens here with the Michigan quarterback situation in the next couple of weeks. You also, in fact, had Joe Milton, who started off the year, but then, of course, was benched as McNamara came again in overtime against Rutgers for that big win. And, with Jim Harbaugh possibly leaving after this year, we don't know. Maybe they get Hugh Freeze or something like that. That would be a big coaching deal. We're just going to have to see, what happens there. with this, or who knows, maybe they try and go to the NFL, get a coach. But again, that's likely not going to happen. I think if you're Michigan, you have to go after Hugh Freeze, or else you are doomed. I'm just saying that right now because if you don't go after Hugh Freeze, you're basically done. You're basically asking for the program to just have some losing years throughout the next, I want to say, good couple of years over here. A few other games. Texas A&M beat LSU 20-7. Texas A&M scores 5th in the nation. Not looking like a 5th in the nation team. I'm just going to say that right now, and we're going to listen. And let's listen, in fact, to actually Jimbo Fisher and what he had to say during post game about it.